My name's Caroline Poynton, and I'm recording this today because this is very true about England. I'm English, fully English. My family all come from Yorkshire. I've got 15 great-granddads, or maybe more. 1,500 years worth of family history. I am a full pedigree of English. My DNA, if it comes back, if I did my DNA, if I had the money to do it, would come back at least 95% English. On my mum's side, all my granddads and great-granddads are English. On my dad's side, all my great-granddads mainly come from Yorkshire and Manchester and Stockport and Cheshire. We are all English. I'd say if anything is in me, it probably would be a bit of fucking Swedish or Finland or somewhere like that from 1,500 years ago. Roughly. Because my family's, the first person is written is over 1,000 years ago. And then I'm born in Manchester, and all my family are basically born in Cheshire and Manchester. Well, I remember in one of my family's books, it says emigration from Yorkshire to freaking Manchester. That's how we used to
Big up Islam, respect everyone,
now
respect
it's from
everything.
everywhere.
Islam's perfect. You're
Islam's perfect. It's not all shit.
Yeah? We're not here to take
You
over.
don't even
We're
know
here
shit.
to
It's
spread
just a
our
little.
beautiful religion, spread the peace, and spread the love. That's it, my brother.
You're just a fucking gangster wannabe.
Seconds ago, this guy said that Islam is all about respecting everyone and about being peaceful.
Mate.
And moments later, he debunked himself.
I was going to say, we have a lot
That
of
is
these
Islam
little
for you,
gangster
ladies and
wannabes
gentlemen.
in England.
That is Islam. How are you doing? This is Sahar TV, and in today's video we will watch Rebel News going to Whitechapel
And they don't
in the
even
UK
know about
to talk to
fucking Islam
Muslims
for
and see
themselves.
what it's
They
like
pretend
living
they
there
know,
and
but
what
they
they
don't
think
know
about
shit
Sharia
because they've never
coming
even
to the
been to
United Kingdom
fucking
and the West
Islam.
in general.
They've
It's gonna
never,
be interesting.
some of
Have a
these
look.
people have never been to fucking Saudi Arabia as much as I've
So
never
we
been.
have, on one hand, our tolerance and our freedom of speech, which
So
is being
some of them
abused
don't know
against
what
us.
they're talking about. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's playing born here. I've never been to Saudi Arabia. He's seen some pictures like I
I
have.
saw these types of women dressed like this.
I read a couple of books.
What has the UK turned into?
Yeah,
How do
well, I
you
was
expect
thinking
people
King
to
Charles
feel
is
comfortable
We'll
meeting other
again,
people
and
from
again,
other
and
cultures
again.
when they're dressed like this?
Yeah, they want to chop
Nothing
the
about
Pope's
this
head off.
says, come,
I,
I'd like to meet you,
English
and
woman,
please show
want to
your
chop
face.
King
I
Charles' head
recently
off.
traveled to London,
I'm not scared
England
of
to
seeing
cover
it. I'm
the
interested,
massive
I'm not
rally
scared.
Unite the
I'm
Kingdom,
not scared of seeing all
organized
that.
by Tony Robinson. On the ground, my goal was simple: document the consequences of mass immigration and how certain areas of London.
The mosque you saw just there is the East London Mosque. It's huge.
It.
There's a bunch of Islamic stores next to it, and you know when you get to this point, it truly doesn't feel like the UK. It feels so weird, so foreign, and you have to be there to experience it firsthand.
London has changed. In some cases, beyond recognition, just like what I saw in France during the 2024 parliamentary elections. There is clear ghettoization, and that is a sign that integration has failed.
The Patriot from Southampton.
I mean, what do you expect? They go to a place where most of the people there are from Bangladesh. They speak Bengali. Nothing forces them to integrate. What makes you think they'll learn English? The language of the UK.
You won't learn that.
East London was a stereotypical...
Take a look at this. This right here is the station at Whitechapel, right?
Yeah,
There's English right here
Mate,
and Bengali right underneath
And the
it.
Muslims.
How is this acceptable? Nothing forces you to write the language of the people living there under the sign. This is England, and people need to speak English.
So King
Very
Charles,
simple.
he needs to be held
White,
accountable for what he's
working
done.
class area. You can see it in the architecture. Right
Closing the
now
door
in,
and not sitting in the
we're in
Bible.
central London. You can see much more imposing,
Fortunately,
much
he's
better
been around
architecture,
a
much
while
taller
longer than
tenement
we all
homes. None of this exists in East
Butting
London.
into
East London is
politics,
full of
yeah.
working class real
going
estate,
and
and
opening
then
the
there was an
Oxford
influx
Islamic
of Central and Eastern
Centre,
European Jews
telling
in the late
English
19th and early 20th
fucking where the
centuries,
Western
and
side
then
were not allowed to
starting in the
criticise
50s, it became
Islamic,
one of the most
the
multicultural,
fringes
one of
of
the
it, or
most
whatever.
diverse
We all
neighbourhoods of
them a
London.
culture,
In
yeah. This
particular,
is King Charles, and he's
Bengalis are
changed
the
his
single
religion.
largest
Because
minority. I
basically, it comes
believe,
from
according to the last census, they represent
Germany,
about 30-something
fucking
percent of the
Turkey.
inhabitants. Bengalis
So he's
are
part
mostly
Muslim from
Muslim. You have
Turkey,
mosques around every
and now
corner,
he's part
and then you also
fucking
have, of
Hitler
course,
from
the
Germany.
proximity to immense wealth,
So
because
he's
you
had
have the
to
city
change
of
his
London and
religion,
Canary
hasn't
Wharf
he? King
right
Charles
there.
kill
So you have
all
on one hand
Islam,
this sort of
Jews and
self-imposed
Christians.
ghettoization, where you have an increasingly dominant Muslim presence, an increasingly Islamized area,
I know you're
neighborhood
Polish, yeah.
that's reflected in the city council.
How many white
it's
English
Polish,
people can you spot?
Say, not one. Nope. Or maybe one.
No.
I don't think
Well,
there's
that's
one,
because the
actually.
people right here are the city council
I
of the
actually
city
don't
of
think
Tower
there's one
Hamlets.
person.
Crazy.
There's not
Person
one,
who
mate.
is currently a
There's
councillor
not
for
one
Tower
person,
Hamlets.
that's why.
The recently re-elected
Oh,
Lord
that's
Mayor
fair
has
there.
previously been convicted
There's not one
of
person,
corruption
that's
and
white
banned from
there.
running for 10 years. That ban has
No
ended,
wonder Keir
and he
Starmer
was
was
just
getting took
re-elected as
over,
Lord
really,
Mayor.
in a way.
He is also Bengali.
This is what I mean. I mean, can't just
Despite
blame.
the fraud, he
Yeah,
was
but we
re-elected,
can't just
guys.
blame Keir
Despite
Starmer
the
because this
fraud.
came before Keir
Wow,
Starmer. I know he's
really
a
tells you a
prick
lot
and a
about
knob
the
and he's
community.
got to get his head chopped off
Majority of
just
the
as
local,
much, yeah.
the local councillors
But this is
are
why we're
Bengali,
coming from
which
the
you
top,
have that
mate,
great
King.
irony that as you
It's
look,
his fault
you
partly
can
as
see
well,
the
you know.
walkie-talkie building, you can see the Kirk, and you can see all these skyscrapers. So there's this dichotomy between the extreme poverty and ghettoization of a large area of Whitechapel, to the extent that Whitechapel Station has the name of the station is in English, right next door to it, it's in Bengali, and then as
And
you
it's in
look across
Israel,
the road,
it's
as you
everywhere,
look
isn't it?
down the
It's all over the
road,
world,
you can
mate.
see these towering skyscrapers and all of London's immense.
I have a few good ways of combating this, stopping it, before they come and cut
So
the
we were
Pope's head off.
filming the East London
I'm
Mosque,
quite
which is one of
worried now,
London's
they come and
biggest
get
and
that Pope's
oldest
head
mosques,
before
one of the
they
only ones in the
King
UK
Charles's head off
that
and make
allows
one.
the Adan to
That's
be
when they
pulled
win.
5 times a day.
They
The
get hold of the
Imam will
Pope
climb
before
the
we get hold of
tower,
King Charles.
or not
Then
necessarily
they
climb
win.
the tower, but use a microphone, and there will be speakers in the tower, and he'll call to
that
prayer.
So
We were there
now,
for the
King
midday
Charles and
prayers,
the Pope
and
anyway.
we were filming the
We need
spillover
to
from the
get King
mosque. The
Charles
mosque is
before
not
we
big
get
enough
the
to
Pope.
accommodate the whole Muslim community, so there were numerous.
I'm
guys,
not
it's a
saying that, I'm
huge
going to say, I'm not
mosque.
saying
If
the
you-
Pope
again,
says
if you've
he's
never
going to
been
get
to
chopped off, I'm
Whitechapel,
sorry,
give it a
because the
visit.
Pope, but his head's
See
getting
it
chopped off
with your
anyway.
own eyes when you visit.
Yeah, but he's not going to get chopped off by
outside
you.
praying, and we were filming with my camera guy, and as we're filming, a car approaches,
Basically.
stands on the zebra crossing, and the man in the vehicle says, "I recognise you. You
And
are
I'm bringing the
24.
Europeans into
You're a
our
genocide
King Charles
apologist.
because he's
You
the one in
animal."
Germany.
The congregation started leaving the East London
Part
mosque.
Turkey, but I don't want
Noticed the
Muslim
noise,
picture.
and
They're
a
part
large
Muslim,
group
so
of
we're
Muslims
not going with
ran
them,
up.
but
Amongst them
what's happened in
Algerians,
Turkey, but
the young boy
something's happened.
who shouted some of
What a scary sight.
Oh.
These people are getting ready to approach this area. These people are already engaged in this conversation that's happening right here. There's Kem Higby, who's been speaking against Islam for a long time. Are you from Algeria?
I know it is.
This right here, this guy shouting, this guy screaming, this don't represent Islam. One thing you told Robinson, I don't agree with anything he said.
I mean, I'm not saying all of them are bad, mate, like saying it's not fair on some of them, but I mean, this is too long now.
You know, if I catch you, Tom Robinson, I'm a smoke. Yeah?
Everything
Tommy
that Tommy
Robinson
Robinson
gonna
says
smoke.
is wrong. We are a religion of peace. We are a peaceful religion. If I catch Tommy Robinson, I smoke.
Like, catch
Wow,
that guy that
so
did that to that
peaceful.
young boy and do him in, smoke him out, mate. Won't go smoke that freak out that did that a fucking
Islam respects
I was going to say a
everyone,
person that's
but Tommy
innocent, mate.
Robinson and people that speak against Islam.
Alright,
Sure, makes sense.
I'm going to say, well, fair enough. But that poor boy did speak out against Islam, didn't he? He was innocent. So why don't you go say that about that?
We're here to take over. We're here to spread our beautiful
Well,
religion,
whatever they want
spread
to
the
do,
peace,
right,
and
it's
spread the
all
love.
rubbish,
That's it, my
but
brother.
this other
That's
person
it.
never spoke
We are
out
not
about
here to
anyone
take
making
over.
his
We are
life.
here to spread our beautiful religion. So, are you here to take over?
And that's
What,
perfectly
what are you
okay.
trying to do?
Don't
You said
make
you're
out
here
that
to spread it.
face. phrase.
But would you want everyone to be Muslim?
No, I want everyone to listen. But you don't need to be. We don't want everyone to be a Christian country.
Really?
Yeah, we do.
Would you be willing to talk to us on camera? I appreciate
Country
that.
is Christian.
Which part of the country? It's a Christian.
What part of this country is Christian? What part of this country is Christian?
The flag is Christian, the culture is Christian, it was built on Christian values. What is this guy on?
Take off. We've been
Are you
waiting.
asking me why is it a Christian country? Because the state is
Oh, I know, but the thing is, it's all that fucking bad, innit? In England.
Oh, in the sense of
Or wherever. I'm waiting, we're waiting, I'm English, I'm waiting for you to cut King Charles' head off! Cut his head off, King Charles! Run into number 10! Loads of look how many there is and they can't run into number 10 or do King Charles' head. Just do one.
1, 2, 3. Free
Palestine, go live in Palestine if you want it free. Why can't we drop dropped off there if they want it free? Why do all in? Oh yeah, because Saudi Arabia won't have them. Why will Saudi Arabia don't know they won't have you all in that lot then?
I'm going to go a little further with this.
Okay.
But what you asked me regarding the whole nation and then things, I'll just stick on with
You're
that.
not allowed, they're not allowed to
You
Saudi
have to
Arabia.
understand that there is some clashes between
They
certain
say free
ideologies.
Palestine, they're not allowed in Saudi Arabia.
As I've said, I'm going to go a little further with this.
You know that, don't you?
We all know
Yeah.
what it is.
So why don't they
And
shout to
everyone
fucking
knows
Saudi
exactly what it is and
Arabia?
how it is.
So do you think this is okay in London, like for the most majority in
Saudi
London
Arabia,
area,
mate, could have
you
gone
have
there.
an
Could have gone to
LGBTQ flag?
Saudi. Could have gone to
This
Saudi
is,
Arabia.
I don't know about that much these things.
LGBT is about gays and lesbians.
I know,
gays and
You
lesbians.
can go to Dubai, mate. Saudi Arabia.
Go with that actually, but
It's a lot more beautiful than England.
Yes,
Sunshine over there.
You know,
Cold
we were
over
just by
there.
the mosque earlier. There were people saying they should be beheading Jews. Every single Jew they're gonna get their hand on, they're gonna behead them.
Well, why do you say about King Charles then? What's wrong with him?
This is in the middle of London.
They're going to
And
say
these
that about
people still
Jews.
complain
Why don't they say that about King
Islamophobia.
Charles?
We have people that are banned from coming to the UK to
Welcome.
give a speech
You're
at the Tory
welcome.
Robinson rally because they
If
criticize
they're going to
Islam
say that
based
about
on
fucking
facts,
the
based on
Jews,
what
they
is
need to
said
start
inside
saying
the
about
Quran.
King Charles
Now
because
they're
welcome
saying
to
that.
it.
And they're not happy. They want more.
So we'll
Some of
buy
these
our
people
bleed
are
me the
sharing
way
laws
and
in
I'll
this
do
country.
it for you.
Can you imagine?
Give me
that
the
all-
sword, mate.
my main question is, why did you come to this country in the first place? Why did you
No
come to this
matter.
country in the
Give the
first place if
fucking
Sharia
sword.
law is so good?
Well, they came to this country to spread their Sharia
I'm
law.
going to say there's all
in
about
the
Jews
country.
and
According to a
whoever,
few
mate.
research that
Tell
was
me
done in
not to. Why are you not talking
2013,
about
30,000
King
people were
Charles?
shot. 99% of Afghanis want Sharia law.
King
91%
Charles.
of Iraqis want Sharia
No one's
law.
talking about
89% of
them.
Palestinians want Sharia law. 84% of Pakistanis, 82% of Bengalis, 74% of Egyptians, 72% of
Because maybe they don't got there
Indonesians
yet.
want Sharia law. That is a crazy stat. That's why they moved to Europe, because they know that if they can take on Europe and convert it to be a Muslim majority country or Muslim majority continent, then the rest is going to be piece of cake to take over, right? I'm going to stop this video right here
Well, yeah,
because I
mate.
want you to watch the full video on the Rebel News channel, which I will attach down below.
If
If
they
you haven't
conquer
been to
England, they're
Whitechapel
full of
in the UK,
England, then that's
do
it.
yourself a
Done.
favor and go.
Gone.
It will absolutely
If once
blow
they've got
your
taken over
mind.
England,
It
that's
doesn't
it.
look like
Europe's
the UK.
gone.
It doesn't look like Europe.
Europe's already
and
gone
it's
now. Once
only
they get
the
hold of
beginning.
England, we're
If you
gone.
get a chance, try to
That's why
engage
I'm
in
saying we
conversation
need to help-
with the Muslims living there. Ask them
No,
what they
we
think
need to
about
bring the
Sharia law.
French and
Don't record
Germans
anything.
in.
Just get a sense of how they feel about Sharia
Until
coming
their
to the
countries are
UK.
sorted.
See what they say.
Until this
You'll
is
be
sorted
surprised.
in their
Thank you so much for
countries
watching this video. I'll
we
see
need
you in
to
the
bring
next
them
one.
as refugees.
Bye-bye. If you'd like to watch
French,
more of
the
my
Germans
stuff,
and the
please check out my
Swedish and
channel
the
down
Finland,
below. If you like
Because
what
we
you
need the
see,
people.
don't
Or
forget to
we go to
subscribe to the
Russia.
YouTube channel
Well,
and
we'll
hit
go
that
back to
notification
Russia.
button so you can be
I'm
notified
thinking of
every
a country
time I
this
upload new
country.
content. If
Then
you'd like to
it's gonna be
support
Russia.
me and the channel financially, you can do that using Buy Me Coffee or Patreon down in the links below. Also,
Russia
we
and
now have a
Poland,
Discord that
it's
you
going
can
to
join
help them,
down
Russia
in the
and
link
Poland,
below.
man.
And now you can become a YouTube member and enjoy specific
Because
YouTube
if Russia
perks.
was that much
Thank
of a
you for
threat to
watching.
fucking
I'll see you in the next
Poland,
video.
then Russia would have done something to Poland by now. Russia's not a threat to fucking Poland. Russia and Poland have got to help each other, I suppose. So they're not a threat to each other anymore. We might think they are. Fucking David Lammy's shitting himself. Well, fucking shit yourself, you fucking bastard. He's responsible for the Black Africans' deaths. He's responsible. I'm going to say, mate, he's getting responsible. He's going to be made responsible for the Black African deaths in Nigeria. Well, yeah. He's talking about the fucking English. He's going to say the black Africans in Nigeria instead of fucking going on with his fat
British
ass.
politics has given another interview to Trevor Phillips. So, comedy gold. That's me sorted for the weekend. I am.
This is comedy.
Fantastic news, ladies and gentlemen. The dumbest man in British politics has given another interview to Trevor Phillips. So, comedy gold. That's me sorted for the weekend. I am, of course, talking about David Lammy.
If
it feels like neighbourhood policing has vanished,
because it has.
It's not around you.
Because it
We haven't seen
isn't.
a
Well,
police
yeah, because you've got one in the background. Shut
A
up, you
fat,
dickhead.
sweaty, virulent racist who's
Yeah,
somehow
just said he's a
climbed
fat
to the very top
swat.
of the tree because he's the right colour, isn't he?
Yeah,
if a bloke looks like me
orangutan.
and said even half of the things Lambtron had uttered, they wouldn't let him be a bin man in central London. So, we're going to cover this. He made himself look like an absolute throbber
I know I've
on
watched
national
that before,
television
yeah.
for all of our viewing pleasure. So we'll watch it together.
It's like
I did quickly
orangutan,
respond to the Labour Party though,
He'd
saying
wanna
that
be
the
like
first
him.
duty of any
That's
government is
right.
to keep our country safe.
Oh, he's the one
That's why
doing
we're to
Nigeria
the
in for
biggest
himself. Does
sustained
he know
increase in
that?
spending
Does he
since
know
the
the
Cold War.
black
Just a
Nigerians
great
are being
lie.
fucking
And I know some
slaughtered?
of you who want to
The
see more
Christian ones.
decorum in politics, you're going to be annoyed at me for saying in response, you mad bastards,
And I'm English and
inhabit
white,
another reality.
so all my race
There's
is
an
when I'm
alcoholic
talking
tramp
about the black
with Tourette's
Nigerians in
outside
Africa,
Parliament,
and he's
and he
not.
talks more sense than Lammy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
more
know
sense than
some of you
Lammy,
think
yeah.
that's a bit much, especially
He
those
needs
of
to
you
go
who work
stick up
with
for the black
elderly
Africa. He
charities,
needs to go
and
and
you
do
think
his
I'm being
job
a
in
little bit
Africa and
harsh
stick
on
up for them in
Jeremy
Africa
Corbyn.
and poke his nose out of the English fucking stuff, yeah? Because he don't belong on this island, he belongs in
I'm
Africa,
kidding,
mate.
I
I
wasn't
don't
talking
care.
about Jezza.
Africa needs things. You
He
need
is
to go
an
and do
alcoholic
that
tramp,
part.
but I don't think he's got
Well,
Tourette's
yeah, but
syndrome.
he's not got
And
brain,
big
has
thanks
he?
to Steve Roberts who
Like I say,
brazenly
he's a
stole
fit
that job
swat.
off. Right, to the interview. Now, there was actually a good little precursor
Thinks he's
to this
fucking
interview
English,
when he
British.
went on LBC with Nick Ferrari. And Nick Ferrari's a
Don't
bit of a
look
fan.
British or English
But
to me.
he at least put a few serious questions to him.
Sorry.
And it was most amusing to watch his brain melt in real time, because watch his response to this when he asked him about taking the knee. And you all know what I'm
Unless your
talking about.
ancestors come
We're
off
all
this
sick of
island,
seeing
mate,
the
they're
picture
fucking British
of
and
the
English.
Prime Minister and the ginger growler taking a knee for a random
King Charles
foreign
ain't British.
smackhead,
No.
but refusing to do the same for
Queen
Henry Novak.
Victoria.
We're all sick of seeing that, so I won't bother showing
So
you
he
the
might
image.
get a
But just
little-
watch the Lambtron's
He
brain
might have
here.
Some
a
commentators are
couple of
suggesting
points
this
for
is a
DNA,
take the knee
couple
for
of
Henry
DNA points,
Novak.
about
Would you
5%
take the knee from
British
Novak?
English in him, you know, between that and him, somewhere. Of his
Well,
ancestors,
look,
but that will make him
I
British.
think
Or English.
Look at him.
I think
Look at his face.
because I'm a black orangutan gone, I should have gone back to
Answer the
Nigeria.
question, Fatty. Come
He's
on,
gone back
we
to
haven't got all
Nigeria, not
day.
Nigeria,
So
fat
on,
swat.
what that
Does he
fact-
yes or
He
no,
needs to
Mr.
lose
Lammy?
some
Would you
weight,
take
doesn't
the
he?
knee
Can't
for
fucking
Henry
move,
Novak?
he's
I
too
think
fat.
no, because look, I don't think that the family are
Your
asking
heart,
for
mate, you
symbolism.
fucking
They're
hell,
asking for
too fat.
genuine
What you eating, all
common
them
sense
pies for?
policing, and for them, they
And
want
you
to see a
eating all
reduction
the
in
pies
knife crime,
for?
and of
Bacon
course they're
sausages
concerned
for?
about some of the police's
Oh,
excesses.
nobody
So you
gets
agree
trouble saying
taking
bacon
the knee is mere
sausages, shit.
symbolism, isn't it?
One
Really?
slice of pie,
It
got
was a
lemonade.
bit of a charade.
He's eating too
at
many
times.
breakfasts.
That was a
You eat
moment
too many
back
English
then,
breakfasts, mate.
when we were still in the pandemic.
Oh,
This is today. This
oh,
is
would
this
Rob Malone say
particular
that? That might be
incident in
getting a
our
bit harsh.
country.
Oh,
So when the Prime Minister does it for
is
a
that if
random
you too
foreign
many English
druggie,
breakfasts? That
it's
fat twat.
definitely not symbolism.
Sorry.
But if you do it for Henry, then it definitely is.
Yeah.
Because this
That's
is the
all
world we
right.
live in. When Lambtron goes on national television and says
Looks
he
like
doesn't
he's
identify
sweating
as
his
British,
ass off. Why
he
is it like
identifies
he's
as
sweating
Caribbean,
like?
and he wants reparations there.
Something
Demands
like
reparations
the way he
for
talks, look at
his
him, he's like
people.
he's,
Those were his words,
he's
not
like
mine.
he's,
He can do that.
He's in a
And
battle
he can
with somebody already.
simultaneously be a British patriot. But if you, or anybody who's white working class, waves an England flag around because you love your country
Yeah.
and you like to watch the football and drink bitter and occasionally talk about the war with your friends, you're definitely not patriotic. You're a plastic patriot because you're just doing over symbolistic flag
Normal
waving
things.
and nonsense. The real way you show your patriotism for England or the UK as a whole is by talking it down, selling all your assets, giving them away, in the
Yeah.
case of the Chagos Islands,
Yeah.
talking neat shit about England all the time and constantly praising your people in the Caribbean and demanding
Oh,
that
Caribbean,
23-year-old
Oh, is it Caribbean
bricklayers
in there?
pay more
It's not quite
taxes
Africa, it's
to
Caribbean in
blokes in Jamaica who were
Jamaica,
born
Jamaica,
in
Africa.
1998. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes loads of sense, doesn't it? Let's move on to the
Well,
main
they've done
event.
there as well.
This is the
Jamaica and
creme de la
African
creme,
places as well.
Triple
Yeah.
A, premium,
Also,
unleaded,
they're fuck because he's from
mind-melting
Jamaica and Africa. They don't
hypocrisy
give a
from
fuck about
failure.
Africa. So they don't give a fuck about the Nigerians in
Failure
Africa, do they?
because he's in Britain in
No.
2026, and if you're the right colour, you can rise to the
Do
very
you want-
very top, even if you still need to wear
I got
Velcro
one there.
shoes
It's not
because
English.
you've never
Sorry.
mastered the boot
It's not
lace.
English for
Look
white.
at him
It's
squirm
sorry.
here.
Well, let me
Well,
play you
yeah.
something. This is the Prime Minister.
If your
in
ancestors
2020.
ain't born off this fucking island, you ain't British
Can
or
I
English.
start by expressing shock and anger?
If you've not
on
got
the death of
Irish,
George
Scottish
Floyd?
and Welsh
I do hope that next time he
fucking
speaks
English
to President Trump,
ancestors and you're
you'll
not British,
convey to him the UK's
you've got to
abhorrence
have
about
Irish,
his
Scottish,
response to
Welsh
the events.
or English ancestors to be
okay?
British. If you've got none of them, then you ain't
So, and by
British.
the way, your colleagues.
Yeah.
Shibani
No,
Mahmood,
if you've got none of
so
them,
you can't
you ain't got
even stress
ancestors
about,
that are British,
views about
Irish,
Latin
Scottish
American
and Welsh,
citizens.
you're not
Uh,
British.
Even before the trial took
The
place,
British
by the way,
people belong
whilst
to
Jamie
Ireland,
Vance,
Scotland,
he
Wales,
gets ticked off by you
and England,
for commenting on a very similar tragedy
and the
in
ancestors of these
Couple
lands.
A lot less.
Of
maybe,
our
a
own
lot-
countries,
a
obviously,
lot
we've got
less.
4 countries in
Not
our
even
own
the same
country.
ballpark.
I was going to
Vance
say we
just
have
put a
4
tweet out
countries
there.
literally in
That's
our
it.
own country,
Didn't do
don't
any
we? We've got
performative
Scotland,
photo
England, Wales
opportunities.
and
Didn't
Ireland.
make any grand speeches in the Houses of Parliament like the Prime Minister did. Oh, I'm sorry, Trevor Rose's one because he said a name.
In our
Shabana
own
Mahmood.
country.
So it was fun.
Yeah, you deserve
I was going
that.
to say,
Shanti,
well,
you
we
deserve
don't
that
go,
one.
I don't go around
Frankly,
saying I'm
Arnold
fucking
isn't
Scottish
twatting
or
around
Welsh.
enough. Now,
Because I'm
answer the
fucking
question,
English.
Fatty.
Overwhelmingly, the response to George Floyd was horror right across the globe. I remember we were all at home during the
I'm not
pandemic.
British
It was-
either, I'm
It
English.
was
But
horror.
that's not the question I'm asking.
Well, I'm explaining the context. That's
If
the
I was
first
British, I
context.
have to have
The
Irish
second
and Scottish
context,
and
of
Welsh in
course,
me,
is
which are
that we are in government.
probably my DNA will be
the
about
Jamie
maybe
Vance is in
1%,
government.
even that.
When you're on the backbenches
Probably
or in
about
opposition,
2%
you're
of
free,
fucking Finland
frankly,
or
to reflect on
Germany
anything.
from
But
over
I think there
1,000
is a
years ago.
distinction.
It's okay for the opposition to be
I was
irresponsible.
going to say, I want
No
maybe
case
1% of
is exactly the
Germany,
same.
German in me
But
from over 1,000 years ago of
But
DNA.
here we have a family
That's what I
who've
mean. My
asked
DNA
for a
is literally
specific
95%
response. I
English.
think it was right for me to remind the Vice President.
And I know that already.
And
I don't
actually
need a
also
DNA
to
test me
note
to
the
tell me that. I
response
already
in
know. I've
Parliament.
worked out my history, I've got the
The
history of my family.
Conservatives, the Liberal Democrats, the Greens, SNP,
And it all links up to me.
broadly in
Yeah, the thing that everybody-
Me granddad, me dad,
Farage
me
The
granddad,
thing
and his
that
dad,
everybody
and his
agrees
dad,
doesn't
and so
necessarily
on
make
and
it
so
right. But I want
forth.
to come back to that. One of the reasons I
To
was
16
interested in
great,
what
16,
J.D.
17 great
Vance said
granddads.
was that he used a really
Maybe more.
interesting
1,500
phrase,
years
and
roughly.
it's an unusual
We're
phrase.
working on
Here's
that.
what he said:
About 16,
each
17
time a life
granddads.
like his is
Something.
lost, the proper
So
response,
I
the only
classify
response, is
myself as
righteous
English.
anger.
For over 1,000
I
years worth
looked
of
up what
English.
you said
I'm
about
not
death of
pedigree,
George
I'm not
Floyd.
Google, sorry, I'm a pedigree.
We have to find a
I wish I
way
was a fucking dog,
to
I'd be a really
transform.
expensive one.
Here's the good bit. The cherry on the top of the hypocrisy
I'd be a full
pie.
pedigree
all
one anyway.
this
For
righteous
generations, I'd
anger
be a
into
good
meaningful
generation of a
reform.
pedigree
I
as
think this
well.
is quite interesting because righteous anger is a
Be an
phrase that
expensive fucking
you and I are
pedigree
Christians
dog.
understand. And I wondered if
Couple
He's
grand,
laughing
4
now.
grand, 5
He's
grand,
laughing because he
10 grand.
knows he's cooked.
J.D. Vance had actually been taking some advice from you.
I do understand that phrase. And of course, a sort of deep
He hasn't got a clue what he's saying, has he? Been taken over by Islam, hasn't he?
You say that, that's
He's been
fine.
taken, he's been radicalised
And
as
then
well,
you
mate.
tell
They've all been
you know,
radicalised, mate.
Mr. Farage, who's apparently now beyond the
All the
pale
people, all these people,
for
he's
saying
been
you
radicalised,
didn't
don't understand as
call
well
for people
what to say and what not to say.
to
Look,
go and
he's
do
a black man,
things.
he's a
He
black man, they're
said
both
the
radicalised.
response that he would
Why
like
two
to
black men
see
speaking about
is
it? Why not a white
raised.
man
Not
speaking
that
about it?
different
Yeah,
from
that'd be
righteous
funny,
anger.
but
Let's qualify this. Nigel Farage
they're not
was
gonna
speaking in
speak for
to the
fucking Henry, are they?
protest and the despicable acts of criminal damage and violence directed
Shut
at police
up.
in Southampton. It was not a responsible
Oh,
thing to do.
fuck
That's
off,
the
you
first.
mate.
See, he
There
gets
was
more
no
irate,
damage. It
more
was a couple of
angry.
wheel
You
bins.
can summon up more venom.
I was going to say, there's a couple of wheel
bloke
bins
for
and
a
they're trying to
traffic
take a
cop
wheel bin in
that didn't
court.
hit anyone. Then he does talking about the death of Henry Novak. The
I'm going to say,
hypocrisy's
mate,
off the
I'm going to say it's a
charts.
couple
It's
of
obvious to
bruises on a
anyone
few
watching.
coppers. It's
He's
not the end of the world,
performative
right?
acting, he's playing for
Oh, I'm
time.
going to say,
the faces
mate,
he
oh,
pulls.
piss
It's
off.
juvenile
when they've had
theatre
coppers
by a
beaten
law
up to
firm
death in
abroad
Manchester
who shouldn't be
Airport.
anywhere
And now
near
they're saying,
the high
oh, a
office he's managed
couple
to
of
talk himself
bruises
into
on a couple of
because he's got a
copies.
bit of a tan.
I'm going to
That's
say
where
it's the
we're
end of the
man's a
world.
joke.
He said
Mate.
before that he said
A couple of
he said
bruises
before
on a couple of coppers, yeah, when them police officers got beat up to death in Manchester Airport. Come on! Oh, piss off!
Dragging them back onto the topic because they
I'm
just
going to say I didn't see any police officers broken noses and things, mate. I didn't see any police officers with proper serious injuries like broken noses and all that. Did you? I didn't. I didn't see any police officers proper injured or anything. They had a couple of bruises, piss off. Well, they caused it, so they deserved it, you know, when. So piss off, it was self-defence. Classified as self-defence because they went to attack them, and your automatic reaction is self-defence. So fuck you, David Lammy.
It's ludicrous.
The police went to attack them, and the people self-defence themselves by getting what they could to defend themselves, which is classed as self-defence. And they didn't pick up any weapons, that's lethal weapons. I'm gone, they never picked up anything that's lethal.
For David Lammy, if he dropped the act and said, fair enough, we really effed this
All
one.
right,
Yeah.
a
So there you
wheelie
go.
bin.
That's why it's going viral.
It's not
Because
absolutely lethal.
You have to have either severe mental
Well, it depends what was in
illness
it, I
or just being a
suppose.
political ideologue, completely
Depends what was in the wheelie
unable
bin.
to be
Oh, right, not
fair-minded
lethal.
on any issue. To
The
not think
smell out of
that
the wheelie bin.
is a joke. Playing a
I was going to
political
say the smell
game
that could have
and
come out.
chuckling away
It
there,
might be the worst
shaking his
part.
sweaty jowls when talking about the death of a teenager.
Major.
Because, well,
I'm sorry
we
to
know
laugh,
what
I'm
the
not
because
laughing
is.
at him.
The
I'm
teenager
laughing
wasn't
at
the
what
right
they're
call, was
saying.
it? The Deputy Prime
Because we
Minister
have to laugh at
and the
stuff,
Prime
yeah.
Minister don't value your life if you're
No.
English because they know that if you're white working class, you have the wrong opinions, you don't
Well, I'm
agree
not working
with
class,
them,
but I'm
and they're
poor.
globalist
I'm all of
paymasters.
this fucking
You don't want to
system,
collapse the
mate.
borders
So I
of
mean,
every
worst
nation
fucking
state
bit, I'm
and
in the
turn the
slums, mate.
entirety of planet Earth
If I was in
into
planet
one
Earth back then, I'd be in the
gigantic
slums.
bare shithole that nobody
The
wants to
shithole
live
we're
in.
in.
I've seen the future. We've all seen it. If
We'll
you've
be
ever
back
seen
to
a
fucking
science
square one,
fiction
the shit all that
dystopia,
used to be
you've
back
seen
then,
the
the slums
future.
back then.
It wouldn't even be so bad if every foreigner was from the same place. Like if every immigrant to Britain was Chinese, and every immigrant to Norway was Somalian,
Yeah.
and every immigrant to
Yeah.
Spain was Nigerian.
Yeah.
Even that wouldn't be as bad.
Bad.
Because you could like learn the lingo,
You could,
learn their
yeah,
customs
then
and
people could
cultures.
settle
You
into
could
with each
sort
other.
of come to some accord and maybe
Yeah.
roll along with each other quite well.
Yeah,
Maybe.
because it's
But
way
we've seen
too
the
mixed.
future, and that's not it. It's 80 nations crammed into a little island, or a
Yeah.
little piece of land anywhere in Western Europe, where
Yeah.
everybody hates each other. Nobody
And it's the same
understands
all
each
over
other.
Europe.
Nobody
All
likes
world,
each other.
mate.
They talk about this stuff as if we have to be tolerant. It's not us that's the problem. Have you
It's
tried
them.
to get Sikhs and Hindus and snack bars and Indians
Snack
and
bars.
Pakistanis and Chinese and Nigerians to get along with each other?
And
you
get
see
along
how
with
they
us as
go.
well as the
There's a
Jews and the
reason why
rest
they
of
all
it.
prefer us. Why do you
And the
think all
Germans and
over
whoever else
here
could be
does
here.
the average Chinese mother?
I was going to
go
say,
on
we
for the
never
tailor
used to
and
get along, the
brings a
English, the
big
Irish, the
Somali
Scottish and the
pirate
fucking
and
Welsh.
says, we are getting
I'm going
married,
to
mother.
say,
What do you
I've been
think
saying
Mum's
this all
gonna
night,
say
it took us
when
hundreds
that
of years, mate.
It's
From the
preposterous.
English, and they
The
were
whole
fucking
policy,
Scottish,
the globalist policy
and
that's
the
been
Welsh
promoted
fucking
for
was,
decades
and
is on the face of
Come
it
on.
ludicrous. The
We didn't even
project
get on with
is
the French.
doomed to failure.
Went to
It's
fucking
as
war
daft
with the French,
as the
went to
idea
war with the
that
Germans.
somehow the LGBTQ plus AI community is going to
mean, all right, over-
with very, very,
I'm gonna say
very,
over this
very
past
devout regulars at the snack bar.
couple of years.
Yeah, the love there.
Well, now with
the
what's
mega
going on, I don't think
great
we have much
rug
choice but
huggers
to
and
mingle back together. We have to
prospective
mingle
suicide
together, that's what I'm
bombers.
saying,
They
yeah.
love pride. They're well into it. Anyway, that's
The Europeans
that's
and
me for the
English
day.
have to mingle together with the
I'll
French
put the whole
and the
interview
Germans
up if you can
again.
stomach six
The
and a half
Swedes and
minutes
Finland.
of that. You're a
People
better
from
man
them
than me,
places
go
got
with
to-
it. Thanks
well,
for tuning
yeah.
in. Like it and share it if you
That's
can be
what I'm
asked.
doing. I'm gonna have
I'll
to
see you
take
all
crash.
tomorrow.
We-
Cheers.
We are going to have to abandon some lands and gate crash. Get either we go there and but it's because it's too big. Maybe Russia then. Maybe all the Europeans all need to flee to Russia. Maybe that's where they are going. Russia. That's where I might need to be going. We need to go to Russia. I did say it before, Russia. But on the other hand, I don't know. Very scary
Every
stuff.
single day, Sikhs, children, pensioners walking in the park, somebody going to the gym, somebody going. Following last Monday, every single day, Sikhs, children, pensioners walking in the park, somebody going to the gym,
Why
somebody
do you
going
feel
to
scared? The
the
Patriots are not going to do anything
have
to you,
been
mate.
physically assaulted.
Why?
A man went to the
I'm
gym,
not.
someone said, we're going to hang you by your turban. Now, is this the Britain we
I've
want?
never said anything
That
like
one
that about
person
anybody,
commits
actually.
murder belongs to any community.
I'm going to say I
Does it
don't
mean
think
that
that's right.
community are
No,
responsible?
no.
It's the very community
No,
that
I've never
reported
been
him
like
to the
that.
police, and the police arrested him, but didn't do
I
anything
never
for the last
do
3 years.
anything
His
like that.
neighbours saw him with
But
a
hang on,
firearm
mate.
back on
Don't
the
start
wall.
with the
He simply
English.
had no-
Excuse me, though, cheeky. Right. When one of your Sikh people in his restaurant didn't want to sell halal meat and he got attacked by the Muslims, and the police about his knife being arrested, who saved him? The English white people. So get your facts right now, mate. Because I will get your facts right. I will not tolerate anybody going out and doing any Sikhs, or any Muslims, or doing anybody doing anything like that, because there's no point. That is not the way this is gonna. I'm gonna say that's not the way it's gonna solve this. Anybody doing things like that's gonna make everything worse and worse and worse, and they will get their way. And if they get their way to chop the Pope's head off first, then we're fucked. So, I think my anger is not towards the people themselves. It's not the Sikhs' fault. It's not our fault. It's not the poor English person's fault like mine. It's not your fault. Well, then we have to come to a conclusion of whose fault really is this. Well, my point of view is it's a person at the top. And in this country, it's King Charles. So he's the one that's changed into Islam, changed all this diversity and everything else, telling us not political, it's in the Bible, murdered, treason the country, treason the land. He's on the wrong land, he's German and Turkish. He don't belong in England, so he's stolen the land off the people. Therefore, I'm fully English over 1,500 years worth, mate. I have a right to chop his fucking head off. Alright, so you advocate for that one. Because if you can't advocate to chop King Charles's head off, then you're no good.
But if politicians can take a sad occasion of the death of Henry to promote hate, they do need to look themselves in the mirror. But that's why we're saying to all of them, look at the facts. Once you've established the facts, then let's work together to make sure we don't have
That again, and we should have got the death penalty then, mate. We should have advocated for the death penalty for him then. And we work together with that and advocate for the death penalty, so it won't be happening again. You know that's not going to happen then again from anybody that's Sikh. Well, it's going to be... I mean, it's not going to say that it's never going to happen again, but you know it's not going to happen again for a good long time. Because you've put your foot down as a Sikh community. So your people that is not the way this goes. That is not the way people need to behave. And I do agree with it, but look at the police, they are the ones that are beating people up. The police are assaulting people, not the other way around. The police caused it. Yeah, the police caused it. They know what they were doing. And then a couple of coppers got a few bruises. It's not the end of the world. Alright, there was a bit of a split or whatever that is. Alright, maybe some things are being smashed and whatever bit. But not that much. Come on, he's got hurt just with that. It's just as much as he's got hurt. The police caused it. They assaulted the people. Well, they passed it in all ways, haven't they? They caused it because they can't keep causing it with Islam. So they need to now cause it with the Sikhs. They've caused it with the black people, Black Lives Matter. Now they have the fucking gays lives matter. Then they caused it with the Muslims, it's the Islam, and now they cause it with Sikh community. What's next? What's next to blame things for? So they're blaming everybody, isn't it? Apart from them fucking selves, the government. You think about it, and King Charles, he's nowhere to be seen very much of it. The only place you see him is, now, yeah, when he wants to say condolences to the people that crashed in the helicopter. Now, well, from the bin. What do you expect? They caused it. The police caused it. But coming retreat, I say please come and retreat. He's probably what we're going to take to get King Charles out of fucking policy to cut his head off. Chop his head off. No, we're not cutting it off, we're chopping it off. And that's the next ideology. Well, that's the thing we have to do. It's not an ideology, it's true. King's heads have been chopped off before, they've done what they've done to Henry. You have to go, that's it. Like you're saying, they're fighting all this, you can't do this, so it's no good. Not in the streets. We need people to get into Buckingham Palace and these are properly. These should be done properly, correctly, politically. As brutally as it sounds by saying chopping someone's head off, it's not as brutal as what's going on. Is it? It's not as brutal as what's going to go on if we don't. And I don't feel any guilt in this for saying it. Don't feel any guilt from saying it. No, I don't.
Mr. Speaker, following the horrendous circumstances of Henry Novak's death, can I urge the Prime Minister to consider this? It is now clear to growing millions in this country that we're living under two-tier policing.
I'm getting back with the justice, some sort of
two police officers from police bosses are clear and written down. It says you must treat different ethnic groups in different ways. That, apart from the upset and the anger at the circumstances of his death, the anger that you saw spilling out in Southampton last night.
Whatever they can do. That's why I got the body bags ready.
Which is in danger of getting considerably worse.
Oh, just see it.
If the public loses trust in being treated fairly by the police, can he take some action, end this divisive practice of two-tier policing, and make sure that all British citizens are treated the same?
Mr. Speaker, I don't believe there's two-tier policing in this country. I'm really shocked that he pretends to have respect for Henry's family. And they act in this way. They are a grieving family.
Mr. Blanche, please, it's a very important question. I want to hear the Prime Minister. If you want to carry on, go outside, please. Prime Minister.
You think family have asked us not to respond in the way that the Leader of Reform has responded? They've asked us not to. They have lost their son in the most appalling circumstances. They make a simple plea of us as human beings to please not exploit that. That is their plea to us. But we all need to reflect on those words of Henry's father. My response has been focused on the lessons to be learned so we can deliver justice. His response has been to appeal
she didn't go to the hijab
for rage.
Oh, she's not allowed, is she?
That's his
That's why she
response
didn't go, because she wasn't
to a
allowed.
father who's lost his
Because no
son
one
and
not
asked
allowed
for
in
that
there.
not to
That's why
happen.
she didn't go.
Exploiting this tragedy
They shouldn't be able to go
to
in there.
create
Just have
grievance
to
and
cover up,
division
wouldn't she?
would be wrong in any circumstances, but to do it when the family are expressly
Would she?
saying, please don't,
Yeah.
is
Please
unforgivable.
don't. What did we say? We didn't say
It
that.
shows exactly who he is.
Oh, exactly who you are. Exactly who you are. Exactly who you are. Exactly what you are. That's exactly what you are. Why, what are you? What is real?
When your enemy tells you what they're going to do to you, then the least you can do
Is get there before them.